Recording is in progress. We're in progress. Unbelievable.
Progress.
Two
I don't
owls,
feel any
one
progress
pod.
has been made.
One of the owls is chatting away during the intro.
3 years. I still don't understand how this works. Oh, okay. You're gonna start it. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll sit
we're
this out.
started. It's don't start, buddy. I'm Al Ducharme. I'm on the Radiance of the Seas, and that is Al Romas. He's fixing his hairdo. He's got a pretty good mane, I'll tell you that much. It's working out for him. Mine is turning gray, white, and falling out of my head. Anyways, Al, what are you doing over there? What's going on? What ship are you on? I think I know, but tell us.
I'm on the Oasis of the Seas. I think I've been on the Oasis pretty much for the last, 3 months, or it feels like, or something. But
And how
yeah,
many
on the
shows have you
Oasis.
done?
We've done 7. There'll be 17 shows in 9 days. It's a 9-day cruise, 17 shows, then a week, and I think 13 shows. So 30 shows
30
in
shows.
14 days. I know it gets.
So you have 2 brand new hours.
Of course, always, yeah. Yeah. And then we have people they're doing back to back, and they're like, are you guys going to be here next week? And we're like, yep. Will it be the same? Like, yep. I mean,
Yes.
no, I'll write a new act on Saturday for you, lady.
There's so much to do on those big ships, though. I'm sure they haven't seen everything. So,
yeah.
Hey, try bingo.
Right. Well, we had a guy from Montreal. I forget his name because we met him. He's been at least 7 shows, maybe 8.
He's a junkie.
Sits in the front row.
See, that's awkward. As
we go,
they're
dude,
true fans. They're true fans.
I know. He just loves it. And we're both like, it's the same. Like, why? He goes, I love it. Love it. I go, all right. It's a compliment, but it's a weird compliment because
sit in the back.
Yeah.
100%. You see him and you know it's him, right?
Well, it's like family or friends. You say, I'll get you in, but you got to sit in the back and you got to, tip the waitress and shit, but you're not sitting in the front. But this guy is a Pinnacle or Diamond Plus, and he just loves it. But I'm afraid he's here next week too, and I'm like, you can't. This is ridiculous, And but he's good.
Is he solo? Is he solo?
He's got I don't know, girlfriend or a wife, but
I think you make him laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I think you make him laugh, and he may be bisexual or gay, and he thinks he has a shot with you.
Oh, well, all right. If he joins Patreon, I'll put out. What the hell? I'm not proud.
You take one for the team.
Certainly. You know what I've noticed though, which has been good on the cruise this week, is the offstage announcement says, I'm co-host of a popular podcast, 2 Owls, 1 Pod. And I've had young guys who are like in their 20s or even 18, 19 after the show come over and go, hey, what was the name of the podcast? And then I tell them, and I see them put it right in their podcast on their phone.
For the download. Automatic download.
Yeah. So, which is great, because when it was Talking Dicks or for whatever, I never got that. Whereas now I'm noticing getting that. And I think also that announcement helps too. The pre-show. He has a podcast and he has a special on open bar comedy. That's the way to go. A lot of these guys, they're reading their bio from 1948, and it sounds ridiculous. Just a little something.
I have to incorporate. I've only done it a few times, but I have to be more consistent on having a cruise director or a host say that 2 Owls, 1 Pod podcast, because it's much easier to remember. Whereas I thought the Talking Dicks was pretty easy to remember, but people shied away from it because of the title, obviously.
Yeah. You can email your agent and they're supposed to send it out, your current description, blah, blah, pre-show description, all that. But I had done that and then they didn't do it. And then when I got on Oasis, since I'm here all summer, it seems, I just emailed the production manager, can you just have her say this on the pre-recorded? And it's much better. And all the other comics are like, how did you do that? Because they're all still there reading their bio. The cruise director, it's so boring and dumb.
Ricky.
Oh, these
what's his face?
Shows that don't exist.
Cruise director Ricky Nice guy. He's been doing this for 20
Matthews?
plus years. Yeah, I didn't want to give the last name.
Mhm.
Oh, this is private. This is for a Patreon.
This is
support.
private, baby. We can say anything we want.
That's right. Those
You can drop the
listeners that
N-bomb.
listen for free are a bunch of assholes. Not
That's
like
right.
our supporters here on the Patreon.
Yeah, those cheap fucks. Oh, we love your podcast, but we're not paying $5.
How many people have told you that they love your podcast? They listen to it religiously, and they never hit like, and they never make a comment.
Enough that if they join the Patreon, my life would be pretty comfortable. So yes, I mean, there's been that many people. If everyone who said I listen to your podcast and I enjoy it put in $5 a month,
then we could cut our cruises in half.
Hell yeah, we'd be in a studio. You know, I mean, there's a lot we could do. So
home studio, garage. We'll do a Mark Maron. We'll put it in the garage.
Whatever works. Yeah, but I haven't. You know, it's weird. That's like a pod I haven't listened to, and so I used to listen to it all the time. It just, I don't know, organically just drifted away. Yeah, it just drifted.
Most of my Joe Rogan stuff is clips. I don't even listen to full podcast anymore.
It's hard to listen to him. I mean, he just did one with Post Malone. I said it was 5 hours. So I mean, come on, I can't listen to two men talk for five hours. So no, it'll be and I don't have any interest either.
I can barely get to an hour with my wife.
Hey now, well, that's your biz. Now your wife and you're taking I don't know how much. Well, I mean, Patreon, it's fine. You're going to Europe with the lovely Bernie Pauly. Is everything good? Flights and cruises and
my girlfriend canceled, so I had to invite my wife. And then my girlfriend found out I invited my wife, and now she wants to go. But she wants her own cabin. It's going to be very expensive.
Pricey.
Yeah, and my girlfriend just turned 18, so.
Oh, she did finally.
This bit is just dying on the vine here.
It's been 6 years.
We just lost 2 more 18. Patreon members.
I thought she was 18 6 years ago. All right. So
we went from just creepy guy to pedophilia in like fractions of a second.
Who's we, sucker? I'm just sitting back. You fucking doing that shit. And where's that from? What film is that from? Who's we, sucker?
Blazing Saddles.
No, come on.
We did this before, and I got it right.
We did.
No, I can't dude, my synapses have been off.
You're Sinatra?
I'm Sinatra. The summer wind comes blowing in
from across the sea. The sea?
Oh, all right. Yeah, from Hoboken. It went across the Hudson River.
All right, he was from Hoboken. That's right, near Bayonne, right near shitty Bayonne, which is a fucking shithole.
There's a nice
Caribbean insists
part
I
of
go
it.
To.
There's a nice part of
it.
It's yes, you did. It's
I did.
The golf course with the lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
And that's it.
That looks nice. Yeah.
It's 18 holes, and then you got to get out of there.
Yeah, and the Broadway diner isn't bad.
That's true.
Want to catch a meal and
on
kill some time.
On Broadway, neon lights are bright. George Benson.
George Benson, #1. That was a #1 hit for George Benson.
Nice pull on Ducharme.
It was very good because I was going to say who is it, and I expected you to, not know. Take another guess on the who's we, sucker. It stars probably your favorite actor.
I'm going to say it's from Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
That's right.
Yep.
Now
I got to know. Very
that's Dirty Harry, the original Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that guy, isn't that the black guy who dies, and then Eastwood puts him in like every Dirty Harry movie after that. He has a part. Is that the guy I'm thinking of?
Yeah, he calls him up. He goes, hey, Jonathan, we have another dying scene where you play a stereotypical black thug in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I love when the diner is getting robbed, and then the guy goes, Eastwood goes, we're not just going to let you walk out of here. Who's we, sucker? And then he takes 8 minutes to pull the gun out.
I know. It's It would have been
could
better if he just had Smith, Wesson, and me, and then whipped it out.
He could have killed him 9 times by the time he had that fucking rifle out of his, but
I have a question for you. Same
Sure.
scene, same scene, 10 seconds. What's the waitress's name? 10 seconds.
Dolores or Helen, Mary. Veronica, Verna, Barbara. Shit.
You are correct, because I don't remember, so I'm sure it's one of those.
Oh, well, the story with that, she was an actress in like his acting class in like the 50s and wasn't working anymore, so didn't have health care through SAG. So he would put her in little roles in various Eastwood films whenever her time came up that she needed to work.
Holy
so that
shit.
was why she was in Sudden Impact.
He's a cool guy,
Pretty
man.
nice. He's the best. He's the
cool
best.
guy.
And what is he? He's got to be 90. I don't know what he is, but he looked good for many. He looked great, and now he looks like 90 something.
Yeah, it looks like 90 something, and they don't keep the camera on him too long because he's a little unstable.
No.
He's actually probably more unstable than the president, Joe Biden.
I know.
And some would argue that he's not the president. But,
he's not the president.
But
I don't go down that road. I don't care anymore.
No.
I don't even whatever. It's fine. Whatever. No. Okay. There are aliens. They're here. They're admitting it, and no one gives a shit. So what is there to care about anymore?
Yeah, but I don't even know about that. I don't know about anything. I've lost faith in our political system, the way it's done.
Yep.
Who's this lies on both sides? Hunter
Lies.
Biden. Look at all these things that are happening. Hunter Biden and Trump. How come they're not? Either one of them is not in jail.
Well, you know why.
So either they did these things or they didn't.
I think when it comes out, and Trump to me is one of the worst people who's ever lived, but I think the Biden family might be more dishonest than Trump, because Biden had 50 years as a politician to really clean up, when Trump's a little, he's a little gangster fuck from Queens. But Biden really, and he's a smarter guy, obviously, everything, but I think he's more dishonest than Trump, which is saying, I can't even believe I'm saying it.
Well, because he did it behind closed doors. Trump, he wears it on the sleeve. He's out there just saying stuff.
He's been stealing and 50 years we're talking. We're going back.
Even with his history,
his brother, his son,
grabbing a contract for the best or lowest bidder, and then not paying them the last 2 payments or last payment.
Yeah.
And they go, where's our money? And they're like, well, you charged too much.
Yeah.
After he made the deal.
Right. And take this or we'll bankrupt you in court.
Yep.
That's your choice. Mm-hmm. You take this money we're giving you, or we'll spend in court and you'll never get
it's a different strategy. Money. But I'm just saying, with all of his reputation for decades, and he still became president, and he may be president again.
It's mind-boggling that those are our choices, or seemingly our choices. I would prefer, obviously, something happened to Uncle Joe. He can't run, and Trump get another indictment, maybe go to jail, and just some new blood. I don't even care who the president is. Somebody under 70, who has a little energy, and I wasn't the biggest Obama fan when he was in office, and I look back longingly at those days. Like, this guy was cool, young,
presidential.
Just give me that.
Presidential with a little bit of a brother thing happening there. Mm-hmm.
The bar is so low, man. I just want somebody, who's alive and vibrant, and not a crook in the way that I can see it. I mean, they're all crooked, but in the way that we can see. So
the way, let me ask you a question. The way one side has been reporting on the news, Hunter Biden, going back to the Hunter Biden thing, because when that story first broke a couple of years ago, I'm like, this guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
the laptop in the
but what is it with the
store?
Millions of dollars that has been given now to grandchildren and whatnot in their names? Is that all true? Is that it's being reported?
I don't know. I'm reading the same stuff you're seeing. So yeah, that's why I'm saying in the long run, he's more of a criminal than Trump, his family.
Well,
I mean,
how
they've
did he
been
get a
taking money
CEO
in.
job to a gas company in the Ukraine for seven
man.
figures with no experience?
Well, you got the big guy sitting
Nepotism.
here. We got the big guy. I love
But it's
that
so
when
blatant. I just got done saying that Biden did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but that was like right in your face, blatant.
the kid. I mean, you might as well just say my dad. I mean, they go, is the big guy going to be? The big guy's here. He's listening. And then Biden goes, I'm not the big guy. I don't know who the big guy is.
Who's what big
The
guy?
big guy. Big guy. Yeah, they wanted to talk to Hunter. They wanted to give Hunter millions for his expertise. I mean, do you see those pictures of Hunter in the bathtub with the gun and the hooker? I mean,
It looked like one of our
wild.
Two Dicks episodes. It was.
Wouldn't mind partying with old Hunter. I mean, I don't want to know him really, but I wouldn't mind a couple of evenings. He seems like
I think he'd be
guy.
fun to hang out with on a personal
so
level if you
too.
want to get hammered. But damn,
Yeah. Mm. But who puts? I don't understand. I never understood. I guess because he was all fucked up. But why would he film it and put pictures? I mean, why are you documenting your debauchery with a hooker and guns and drugs?
so
I mean,
my
I know the
question
drugs
is,
are fucking him up.
is he's so high, he's recording it, and then when he gets sober, he's like, oh, I have to delete that. But then he looks at it again and he jerks off. Or
yeah, maybe I keep this. Yeah, maybe something to keep.
and he goes, or does he delete it? But as we all know, when you delete something on a hard drive, it's still there. It's underneath.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
You actually have to record over it. If you record over it, then apparently that's the end of it, from what I understand. But if you don't record over it, it's still there invisible and it can be retrieved. That's how I understand it.
I don't know that. I just assumed he was fucked up, didn't delete anything, and then brought his computer to a little shop in Delaware to get repaired. Never picked it up. I mean, look, this story is all convoluted.
Yeah.
And the guy looked at it and saw Hunter Biden in a bathtub with a hooker and a gun and called the FBI. I mean,
and then Biden says, my son is the smartest person I know.
Well, yeah. Well,
and then he fell off his bike.
And then he looked at a cloud and, and smiled. I mean,
and walked into a tree.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's again, the bar is very low. Very low.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's just bring Trump back and get it and just wipe everything out. Let's do the Civil War. I think it's going to
happen.
And then
I was talking to
we're too old to be.
We're
too old to be drafted, right?
I was talking. Well, they're going to have to bring a draft. There's no military. I mean,
you and I are going to be in Clearwater, like defending the bridge.
On our, I'll give you an e-bike. We'll take over the bridge. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I think Are we froze in?
No, we're good.
Elsa.
Sometimes I get a message that comes in. I have to kill it. Otherwise,
no, your picture looked. It looked a little frozen, but we're good.
But my good looks. Well, we'll make this work for our Patreon members who are viewing this video. This is not released to the public. This is for you. And we want to thank you again. And we don't mean to be political. We're not really being political. We want to thank you for your support, but we like to talk about what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And just to point out how ridiculous it is. And no matter what side you're on, it doesn't matter, folks. It doesn't matter. The clown show.
We're all fucked.
Clown show.
And but this is fun with the Patreon because we can say like fag. We can say words and shit. And they like it.
Do we have any gay supporters? I think we do.
I don't know.
You know what?
It's just
our gay supporters know that.
I'm saying it as a fun word, not as any demeaning. I think it's a great word.
We are embracing the word just like the African American community did with the N word. We're embracing fag.
Yeah, I mean, I just loved when a kid struck out in Little League. He was a fag. It didn't mean anything
dweeb.
Sexual or didn't mean anything, but it was just a great word. It lets you know we're mad at you. You're a fag, and I laughed all the time. But
I don't care if you're a pickle smoocher. I'm making fun of you for the straight guy and the gay guy. Everybody gets made fun of on that level. I do believe when you kid around on that level, you have to know the person a little bit. You have to be familiar with them. You can't. Well,
I wouldn't.
Total.
Yes, you wouldn't call
someone you don't know well.
No.
It falls into that locker room category, both for men and women. But
locker room talk, just locker room talk.
But not Trump locker room talk.
Grab her by the pussy. Just a little locker room Trump talk. No big deal.
Again, he didn't know he was being recorded. And the irony is, it was from it was the reporter Billy Bush, and they were talking about grabbing pussy, which is also another name for a bush.
Oh, that is ironic.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna do another open bar special. I think that might be a good title for that one.
Yeah,
grabbing the pussy, not something like that. Make it a little edge to it, and but I'm doing an all crowd work. Which I don't know why I shouldn't have signed up for this. This is ridiculous. But I did the open bar.
No, for open bar
with Ron Feingold, and he goes, "Hey, want to do another one?" And I'm like, "No," because I just want to. I don't want the whole act out there.
Sure.
I don't have enough fucking material for the whole thing out there. And then he goes, "What about what about crowd work? Whole crowd work special?" I go, "Oh. Well, that'd be kind of cool, but I don't know." Because
I would say
we'll do 2 shows.
Yeah,
we'll do 2 shows same night.
Yeah,
and that way
same clothes, 2 shows. And I would say my recommendation would be try to hit 45 to an hour of crowd work, and then take the best 30.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, it sounds, if it's crowd work when it's going is one thing, but to start. Literally walk out and not have a bit, or just go.
Well, you
how
could do
you
a
doing, Bob?
you could do a 5-minute warm up of your regular stuff, or even 10, and then go in and do 25, 30 of crowd work, and then take the 2 shows and put them together. Don't put the pressure on yourself.
That's the
time
plan.
Wise, yeah.
No, and it was funny because last night, I think this might be a little joke, not a bit, a joke, but Kelly doesn't. She talk texts. She doesn't text, like finger text, you know what I mean? She talks text all the time, but she doesn't look at it afterwards, so she just sends it. So and I go, the other guy who's going to be on our guest, I don't want to let Alfred know right now because we're going to record that after this pod. He said, well, here's a tip for you, but he's a cigar guy, he likes cigars, so he goes, would you want to have a cigar after the show? And I said, yeah, all right, yeah. So then I'm texting with Kelly, and she said, "Have a good night," blah blah blah. I said, "Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna have a stick with blah 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 after the show." So then I get into walking into the club, and I look at the thing, and it says, "Okay, great. Enjoy that dick, honey." It's like, hey now.
Save it for the pod.
I thought I'm on the pod. God damn it!
Well, this is the private pod. This is the private pod.
Well, maybe I'll bring it out. I'll bring that back for the.
We'll have to bring that back out.
So
we're already breaking our own rule when we said that this video was for our Patreon members. We're going to take that one stick dick joke and make it public.
Do you talk text? Do you talk text, or do you finger text? I don't want to say, it sounds weird saying finger text.
I finger text, but I don't do the spell check, and I usually hit send before I check the word. So I'll send, "Hey man, I really enjoyed eating your cucumber." I don't know.
What was it supposed to be?
Eating a meal with you.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
I see. You just want to try to engage, but food.
Yeah, I dropped it. I dropped it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so my thing is spelling. As you know, you're the receiver. Even when we're doing our instant messenger, Facebook Messenger stuff, it's constant. It's just I get impatient and I just hit send.
Yeah,
and then I realize my word is totally misspelled.
I just assumed you were dumb, so I'm glad to know that.
Well, that's the dumb factor is.
I just thought you misspelled things, and hey,
that's why I cling to you for this podcast, because you are a genius.
Oh boy, yeah.
Sarcasm.
Facebook, yeah, man. Facebook the other day, 4 years ago, was our Boston Dicks. And I don't know if you've noticed, the Two Dicks Facebook page reposted it, or you reposted it, but it's started to get a lot of comments and likes. And meanwhile, I can post a current thing, and 2 people will hit like, and nobody gives a shit. Meanwhile, they're all listening and watching it. But this one, for some reason, sort of connected again, and it's like I'm just seeing a lot of activity on the Facebook page on the Two Dicks site. I wonder
Yeah, it
why.
seems like the AI algorithms have,
Yeah, they,
went back in and started rekindling stuff because it is content.
yeah.
And for every view, it counts towards advertisement dollars for Meta, Facebook.
Yeah, they just grabbed it again and got
They
it
just
into
grabbed it again.
the algorithm.
Because we usually don't post that much on that. We share to it occasionally, but only when we do our web series is that more active. It's so funny because Johnny Peasy commented on it. He goes, "Well, I can't believe it's 4 years ago," whatever he said. And then I grabbed it and reshared it on my page because I had done some jokes where I got some traction. So I try to put the podcast in between to see if I could, grab that traction. And minimal people.
Yeah. No, it's very annoying. But anyway, I was surprised I would see two dicks, and I'm like, what? People are commenting on this old episode, and but it was good. I watched it again, and it's actually a very good, not just to say because we're in it, but it's funny. It has the whole thing is good. It's the setup. It has a real setup and middle and an ending. Sometimes some of them are just sort of silly and they don't really have that. But this had the whole arc and shit, and
it had
guys
3
going
acts.
out the window, and yeah, it was all good. Very, very funny. So
it was
check it out. Well,
also
we had
John Beckmeyer doing the camera and sound and some direction. So
yeah, and it was great because you didn't have to, because you're usually doing a lot of directing and in it, but you could be more of just an actor in the sketch. Yeah, it was good. So check it out. I'm sure you've seen it if you're on the Patreon. But
it's called Turf War Dicks, by the way. Is the title of the Two Dicks episode.
We should put it on the Patreon. I'll put it on because some of the Patreon members probably don't look at Facebook and that thing. So they may not have seen it. We'll put it up there.
We'll give you another opportunity to see it for the first time or re-see it.
Enjoy it. Sit back.
How many minutes is that one? It's one of our longer ones.
Maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes? Could
6,
be. Maybe. Yeah. But it has a lot going on, has a lot of good characters. I mean, Frank Santarelli at the end is hilarious. And he just, he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys, though, Santarelli. I just laugh looking at him. Like, if the guy walked on stage, I'm just already laughing. I'm like, that guy's a comedian. He's just funny.
You just know he's funny. You just know he's funny. Yeah. But we had Johnny Peasy, Artie Januario, Frank Santarelli, the both of us. And again, Beckmeyer behind the camera. So that's
and his place, and it really looked good.
Oh, by the way, that room, we shot this at John Beckmeyer's Chemical One, it's called. It's a firehouse from 1880 something, 86 or 89. And that room that we shot it in was vacant. I guess it was a bunk room for the firemen, and they would slide down the brass pole down to the fire trucks. And that was just like a big, and then they turned it into like a pool room for the firemen. And now they have converted it into, it's called the salon. They make fun of themselves. They call it the salon, and they're going to put a pool table in, a slate, 8-footer, and he has a monster, like 85-inch television in there. And apparently she wanted to put like a 40-inch. She didn't want it to take away from, because it's very speakeasy, 1920s Art Deco kind of a feel to it. And she didn't want this big. So he argued with her about it, and he finally got his way. And we're sitting down to watch a movie, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that TV is so fucking huge!" And he's like, "Dude, shh. I go, "But it fits perfect in this large room. It complements it." Trying to cover.
I hear ya. Hey, we got to wrap because the guest is going to be here in less than 5 minutes. So I need to get ready for that. So
you froze and broken up.
Which I don't know when this will be out. We'll figure that out. But we have a new one Monday, and it'll be Guess the Guest. And
I have to inform our Patreon members, you're going to see this in the raw. There's not going to be any editing, no sound effects, just the two of us blabbing away. So you can see all the imperfections. Yes.
That's right.
And thank you again for your support. Right now, Al's on his second microphone. I'm on my third, and your dollars have helped make these purchases when our equipment dies. I bought
Yeah,
cables.
so tell
I
your
bought new
friends.
cables.
Tell
And
your
I bought some-
friends, tell your family, get people on this thing so we can
They don't
know.
even have to join forever. They can just join for a year.
Sure. It's $5. It doesn't, I mean, I belong to I'm a patron of Patreons. It's $5. Actually, I think I'm a patron of my own Patreon because Kelly joined it, 2 years ago or whatever it was, and now we're together and we live together. So I'm actually kind of a patron of my own
for
Patreon.
$2.50 a month.
And I feel a little ripped off. I got to be honest. All right, thanks, folks, and we will see you on. We'll see you on Patreon again on Monday.
All hands
on Dick.
Oh.